Hello, welcome to Joy in Our Town. I'm your host, Lurone, Coach Jennings, and we're glad you tuned in today. We have a very special guest with us today, Tabi Upton, and we're glad you're here with us, and we thank you for the opportunity for you to share with us.
It's my pleasure.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about this whole idea of how do you deal with past issues in order to move ahead. You know, we're kicking off this new year and so forth, and people's addressing old things but want to move into some new things. Mm-hmm. How do they address past issues in order to move into the new wonderful things they want to accomplish for the year?
Well, I would love to just start by telling you a quick story of how this topic was even inspired. A few years ago, I entered into the mini triathlon race that's held in our area with my best friend. And we tried our best, but we came in dead last. And we were so far behind that actually they were starting to pack up the finish line. Oh. And my mother said, wait, my daughter's still out there with her friends. So we came in and everybody cheered for us. And we ended that triathlon. And we thought it was hilarious because we were dead last. Okay. But we were proud of the fact that we finished. And we had a story to tell after that race, even though it wasn't the story of being in the top three. All right. It was a humorous story of how we finally finished. And that's kind of like it is with our lives. Some things we shouldn't just leave undone and then try to move on. And we had just stopped in the middle of the race. You know, that's not a story. Right. But many times we want to stop in the middle of our races because they're hard and because we don't feel we're doing well or we've done things we're not proud of. But whatever we're involved in, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be just something we've committed to and somehow we've got to or feel we need to move on, it's just important to end well. Then that closure sometimes stops some of if there was anxiety involved, it can quell the anxiety. If you need to make sure you respect someone by telling them goodbye, that prepares you to move on with respect and love to the next thing. Yeah. So good closure is important for us to finish well and close it out, doing the right thing, and make sure we carry it out in the proper perspective in order to move forward. Yes. Talk to me a little bit about if people don't do that, what usually happens in terms of the possible baggage and challenges they'll face when they try to move ahead. Well, when people don't do that, when they don't take that time to reflect and close and offer forgiveness, receive forgiveness, or whatever it is, they often carry the same issues into that next situation. We see that in marriages where people may end and then immediately jump into a new relationship without having done the hard work of reflection, maybe some counseling, reading some books, figuring out even if it's just between you and God, what did I do wrong? Yeah. You know, what was my contribution to this end of this relationship? They often go in again doing the same, even subconscious behaviors, and they find themselves in a cycle. You find yourself in a cycle you don't know how to explain and even don't know how to get out of because you haven't ended well. Right. Do people learn? Is this a learned behavior? They pick it up? Do they see it being practiced by others, like their parents or significant others or people that mentored them? How do they learn how to finish well or pick up these skills that will help them continue to move forward in their life on a good note? Well, that's a great point that you bring up. Yes, I think we have had bad behavior modeled for us, and we've had hopefully good behavior modeled for us. And it is something that a mentor or a parent can teach, their child. Even if, let's say you have a child that is playing a sport and they want to quit the sport. Yeah. Well, sometimes parents will say, well, no, just finish the season out, just finish the season out. And then you can try something different next season. That's teaching them to end well. Or if it's such a horrible situation, they really just need to get out. Well, talk to the coach. Thank him for what he's done for you.
Yeah.
You know, say goodbye to your teammates. That's how you finish well.
Yeah. You know,
so you do have to mentor.
That's important. I didn't know I was doing this, but I never allowed my children or those that I was mentoring to quit in the middle of a season or in the middle of something they were doing, because I always just felt like it was important to finish the season, finish it well,
Yes.
and then reflect and think about what do you want to do come next season or the next stage of what you're moving towards. And I just didn't think about it the way you're presenting it and how important that was, but I just felt like it just needed to happen.
Yes, and you being a coach, you know all about that. And even in athletics, there's honor, there's integrity, there's sportsmanship, character issues.
That's right.
That you're teaching.
That's right. You don't leave your teammates hanging.
Yes.
Just walk off and not, you know, they don't know what you're doing and where you're going and what you're really struggling with.
Yes.
And so forth. That's really important. What else will our listening audience need to consider dealing with this issue of preparing a successful future, to create an environment that will help them walk into success and to set a stage and an atmosphere for success? What are some of the other key nuggets that they would need to consider as they move forward?
Okay. Well, staying with this coaching and athleticism, because I was also an athlete when I was in high school. You know how they teach you to visualize yourself making the basket or the touchdown or whatever you're working on. It's the same in our own lives. I have clients sometimes who come into the counseling office and they come with their particular problem or issue, and I ask them, okay, so this is the problem that you want resolved, but what do you dream for your life? What do you want your life to look like actually after this is resolved? And a lot of times people pause because they've never really visualized what their life would look like if they didn't have that problem. And that's so important that you stop and get a picture of where you want to be.
Yeah.
And one of the fun ways we sometimes do this in counseling is to actually create a vision board or a dream board where you can just cut out pictures of your life. You know, it could be as simple as the house you want to live in and the car you want to drive, or the career you want to have, or the call you feel God has led you to, you know, someone who's already doing it, put a picture of them up there doing it. Yeah. And you can visualize what you want and where you're headed at that point.
So you're saying without a vision, you'll perish.
People perish. Or wander for 40 years.
Yeah, you'll wander. You're all over the place because you don't see yourself. And, you know, since sometimes people have to have vision for you. I remember growing up as a child, my teachers and coaches, they saw things in me that I didn't see in myself.
Wow.
And they had vision for me and spoke things into my life and the potential and the vision they had for me that they could see in my life. It really helped make a difference. And as I began to see it and visualize it and believe in it, more confidence came into my abilities to walk it out and to bring it into manifestation and so forth. And that's exactly what you're saying. So it doesn't have to be on the athletic arena, but just in the game of life.
In the game of life.
We speak those healthy things into people's lives.
Yes.
Talk real quick about the regrets. If people live in a stage of regretfulness, how does this hinder them from moving forward and feeling healthy and whole about themselves and about others if they never deal with the issues of regret?
Excellent question. That is so common. People come in all the time with things that are bothering them, that they're guilt-ridden by because they regret them and they don't know how to fix them.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you can look at, look at that regret, look at what it's produced in your life. Is it shame? Is it a sense of paralysis? Is it fear? Get mad at all that. Get ready to boot that out. If you can change something about what you didn't do or did do, go do that. That's part of the healthy endings. Do you need to go and confess something? Do you need to go and ask forgiveness of someone? Do you need to do some restitution? You know, let's say maybe you stole something years ago, and you need to go and volunteer at that place, or give a donation, or sometimes even do a straight confession. You have to be led to know exactly what you should do, but fix as much as you can fix of it. And then you have to forgive yourself and let yourself off the hook. You have to give yourself compassion and grace and mercy, the same way we received it from God.
Do you think that's the hardest part of it?
I think that is the hardest. Yes. Yes, because
the Lord has went through all that he went through to forgive us,
yes,
but sometimes we don't forgive and can't forgive ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we have to because that is how we transform. We can't transform focusing on our old selves and the old things we've done.
Yeah.
So
when we think about that, we encourage our listening audience to push through those things that hinder us from moving forward. And we want to encourage them to make sure that they are always looking at themselves, looking at others, and looking at their future.
Yes.
And trying to walk it out.
Yes.
Some final thoughts that will help you convey to our listening audience how important that is, and what they can do to move forward, keep moving forward, and how you can help them do that. Yeah.
Sure. Well, one really important step is, if you have a dream that's out there and you visualized it, do something this very week that gets you closer. For instance, if you want to write a book, maybe this week you could start a blog, or you could start keeping a journal entry about ideas. If you want to start a business, maybe you could start collecting information about entrepreneurship, or contact someone and ask them to be your mentor. But just take one step now, and that will help you to take the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and that gets you closer and closer and closer, and the whole vision is less intimidating as you chuck it away little by little.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
That's
well, you're a great
step.
inspiration to this city and beyond. And as a professional licensed counselor, people that want to get in touch with you and benefit from your services, how can they do that?
Well, I do work here in Chattanooga, and you can call me at 423-756-2894, and you can also email me at tabiupton@bellsouth.net.
All right. Well, you've been a great inspiration, and we thank God for you. You continue to do the good work that you're doing, and many people I know are being blessed by it. So we thank God for that opportunity that you've given us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us here with Joy in our town.